So in this video today, we're going to be looking at Jacob Collier's cover of Fix You, and I'm going to give you 3 of my essential takeaway tips to be able to make your chords sound fuller. So check this out. We're in the key of E flat. This is the major scale. Now we're going to be looking at the verse chord progression. It has 4 chords. It starts on E flat, goes down to G minor, C minor, and then finishing with our B flat sus. So with a bit of time to it, it'll be like this. And then finishing with the sus. So we have our E flat major chord, so our first degree of the major scale, so chord 1. Then we go down to the 3rd degree, chord 3, G minor. Then we go to chord 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we finish with this sus chord, a suspended chord. So we've got 2 things happening. On the left hand, we have our B flat. On the right hand, we have an A flat major chord. So we have this combination, a suspended chord. And it really does give that feel of, it's like a hug, it's like a warm hug to put you in a particular direction, but we're not quite there yet. And when it comes back to the 1, it resolves. Have a listen to this. Right here. Resolve back around. So this chord progression is very circular in nature. We've got this whole 5 as the last chord, and in music theory, going from 5 to 1, that's going to be one of the strongest relationships you're going to get harmonically, going from our 5 to our 1. It just brings the perfect amount of tension and release. 5, 1. 5 with that sus chord, but still 5 in the bass note, and then home. So as you can hear, the chord progression is very circular because we've got this 5 and home, and then it moves back around. Yeah, and what's even interesting, going from this G minor to the C minor, you've also got a 5-1 in the context of this C minor note, or the C minor chord, I should say. So you've got this chord 3. You can even make it major if you wanted to. But Jacob does a minor chord, so we stick with minor. You can hear that pull, 5-1, just like we had the 5-1, 5-1, same interval. So essentially you've got 2 5-1 chords happening in this chord progression. Alright, so what can we do? Because this has its place, and Jacob did actually play it quite simply, to be honest, kind of like this. But to flesh it out a little bit, I think it would be super helpful to show you some ideas to make it sound a bit fuller. So the beauty of this chord progression is quite simple. There's 4 chords, chord 1, chord 3, chord 6. So we have a major chord, a minor chord, another minor chord, and then we finish with a suspended chord, which is made up of a major chord and this B flat. So essentially we have 2 major chords and 2 minor chords. So the first thing to do would be to double your octave on your left hand. It's as simple as that. Hear the difference between this and this with the doubling of the octave on the left hand. You get that greater depth with the left hand, simply put by just adding the same note in the bass note twice, an octave lower. So hear it all together. So we've got as opposed to that has its place, but having the octave definitely fleshes it out more. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 is, in a similar fashion, we're going to be utilizing 2 notes, but rather than an octave apart, we're going to be looking at a 5th apart. So on the left hand, we're going to be playing the 1st degree of the scale and the 5th. Now in this context of this chord, we're going to be playing the root and the 5th. So on the left hand, now for the G minor chord, the The root would be the G. The fifth would be the D. We're playing it together. So the first chord would sound like this, as opposed to a subtle difference, but adding that B flat in there does add a bit more nuance. Check it out. And then for the C minor, it would be C and G on the left hand. Now for the last chord, we're going to have to think about this creatively, because on the right hand, we've got an A flat major chord, but the left hand has something different of B flat. So we're going to add the E flat, just so we can emulate this top note on the right hand. But we still obviously need to represent the fact that we've got B flat on the left hand. So altogether it will sound like this. Finishing here. So if we compare this now to the octave approach, which will be this. Going back to our fifths. Now, one thing I would do to add even a bit more movement to the chord progression would be something like this with the left hand. Rather than playing them together, I would actually approach it like this. When we put it in with the right hand, create more movement. Have a listen to this. Subtle but effective. Even change the rhythm. Ooh. So what I'm doing there, I'm just going root 5 5, root 5 5, root 5 5, finishing here. For that last one, because the timing of that chord is shorter than the rest of them, we could just play all together. So we have on the left hand, finishing right here. So from when we started, we've now got an octave approach, deeper. Now we have our fifths. Ooh, beautiful. Now the final option, this is my favorite. I'll be honest, this is my favorite. So we're going to be looking at every chord that we have. We're going to be representing that in the left hand. What do I mean? Well, we're going to be starting an octave lower, so we're kind of taking the idea of playing an octave, but rather than playing this high octave as well, we're just going to play the deepest octave of E flat in this two-note octave. We're going to be then playing the fifth and then the third. Now, you don't have to play it all together. You can create this movement. And we're basing that off our E flat major chord. So we're taking the same notes from here, the E flat, the G, and the B flat. But the order that we're going to do it in is going to play E flat first, on the left hand, then B flat, and then the third of G. So it will sound like this. And when you include it with the right hand, it'll be like this. Likewise with the G minor. So we're going to be playing, in this context, I'll move it up an octave. So on the left hand, we'll play a G. We'll play the fifth, which is D. And then we'll play B flat on the top. So from the top with the E flat. Then for our G minor. And then for our C minor, it will be the root, the fifth, which is the G, and then our E flat. And I'm choosing to do pinky, second finger with my left hand. So pinky, fifth finger, second finger, and then thumb on the top. And that's the case for all of them. So going from the E flat, pinky on the left hand, second finger on the left hand, thumb on the left hand. Then for the G minor, same way, pinky, second finger, thumb, and then C minor. Left hand, pinky, second finger, thumb. Now for the last chord of A flat, or B flat sus, we got A flat chord. I'll play it up here. A flat chord with our B flat. I'm going to represent it like this because we're going to have to do something a little bit different with the left hand in this context. So we're going to do B flat, then we're going to do an F, and then we're going to finish with an A. So all together it'll be like this. G minor, for our B flat sus. One more time. Finishing with our B flat sus. So now let me show you all of the options. I'll start with our foundation. I'm going to add in the octave now. I'm going to add in the fifths. And then finally, my favorite, we call this tenths. So in the left hand, the interval between the lowest note and the highest note is a tenth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it'll be like this. 2, 3. I'll play that one again. Yeah, as you can see with the left hand, especially if you don't have your dexterity built up already in terms of your left hand, if it feels like a stretch, do it slow with the left hand. Because if you're not used to it, that's going to really feel like a big stretch. And I guarantee you that if you just work on it consistently, daily, slowly, it'll become much easier to be able to play it fast. Yeah. As such. Yeah. Now that last option with the thirds on the left hand is, and this is like some bonus information here, but I would encourage you as a practice exercise, if this is new for you, really try and practice all your major and minor chords like this with the left hand, because it really does bring a great amount of depth to your chord playing. Let me give you an example. So in the key of C major, we have all white notes. So for that C major chord, being able to represent that in tenths on the left hand is really, really going to flesh things out. Check this out. That sounds so rich as opposed to just playing that 10th option, the root, the fifth and the third on the top. Root, fifth, third. And I'm playing the finger on the left hand the same way with the pinky, second finger and thumb. Likewise for the D minor, E minor. I'm just moving up the scale of C major, F, G, A. And the last one for the chord 7, we'll do an inversion of G major, so we'll go and then back to C. Equally, you could do the diminished option for chord 7 on the B, you could do if you wanted to. Yeah, but commonly that 7 note will be played as an inversion of G major. Being able to play this in all 12 keys, just utilizing the scale, the major scale, will cover all of your chords, majors and minors, and that way your chord playing will really, really sound so much fuller by incorporating this idea of the tenths. Beautiful. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, do give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.